We are exploring. Welcome to part 2 of this two-part series about Quapaw Nation leader Sarasen. We're at Lake Saracen in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Wow, look at that sign. A visitor of the park told me that this has been knocked down by a strong storm that went through here about 3 weeks before I took this video. Lake Saracen was formerly known as Pine Bluff Lake. It was created in 1962 and was renamed Lake Saracen in 2007 in honor of the Quapaw Leader. Some call him Chief Sarrasin, but in fact he was not a chief, and this is not to diminish his quality as a leader, because he was held in high regard by the European settlers, politicians, and by his followers. And he had been awarded a presidential medal in his lifetime. Here is a little walking trail. This actually goes all the way around the lake, but that is certainly too far. That's a few miles. I don't know how many miles, but I'm not ready to walk all around the lake. The chief of the Quapaw at that time was a man named Hackerton. The tribe consisted of about 400 to 500 individuals, and Sarasen was the leader of a faction of this tribe of about 100 to 150 members. In this video, I want to tell you about the removal of the Quapaw Indians from their land, where they went, and how they eventually returned to Arkansas, at least symbolically. The Quapaw Nation had been living in 3 villages on the Arkansas River south of Pine Bluff, Arkansas, for hundreds of years. Now, during the early 1800s, the European settlers wanted to drive the native Indians out of their land. The area was very valuable for the settlers because they could farm on it. Land close to rivers is often more fertile than soil inland. Although floods can be destructive, the floodwaters bring nutrients and deposit them on the land when the flood recedes. So the European settlers wanted the Indians to move into less desirable areas for them, like deserts and mountains. Alright, here we're at the lake, and there is a fishing pier and a pavilion we can see in the background that can probably be rented for events like family reunions or other things like that. Let's take a walk on this fishing pier, and I'll continue the story about Quapaw Nation leader Sarasen. In the early 1820s, the settlers called for the removal of the Quapaw from their land, and in 1824 a treaty was signed that moved the Indians out to the Red River in Louisiana onto land that was inhabited by the Caddo tribe. In the treaty, Sarasen had also been given 80 acres of land on the Arkansas River to thank him for the rescue of 2 children from Chickasaw Indians who had kidnapped them, and he was permitted to stay in Arkansas and live there as long as he wanted. But that generosity was limited to only him and 11 other mixed-blood Quapaw, but not to the whole tribe. So he stayed with his tribe and moved to the Red River. Look at that bird, he's finally flying off. I had been watching him. He got little further away from me step by step, and here we have a view of the shoreline and the fishing pier and the pavilion there in the background. Flooding, starvation, and conflicts with the Caddo Indians made life very difficult. So around 1826, Sarasen broke with the principal chief of the Quapaw, Hackerton, and Sarasen, together with about 100 250 of his followers returned to their old land and villages on the Arkansas River south of Pine Bluff. That was about a quarter of the tribe at that time. By 1830, Hackerton also returned to Arkansas with the remainder of the tribe. After the Indian Removal Act of 1830, it was inevitable that the Quapaw and other Indians will have to move away, and in 1833 a treaty was signed that the Quapaw will move to the northeast corner of the Indian Territory in what is now the state of Oklahoma. I am going to show you the boat ramp next. If you have a boat, you can bring your boat and go fishing here at this lake, Lake Saracen, 1962. Now, the Quapaw moved to the Indian Territory, but Sarasen did not go with them. Instead, he led 300 Quapaw back to the Red River in Louisiana, and he returned home to the 80 acres of land on the Arkansas River that he had been given. He had adopted the Catholic religion, and he died sometime between 1832 and 1837. He was first buried on his land and later reburied in Pine Bluff at the cemetery of the St. Joseph Catholic Church. In 2019, the Sarrasin Casino was established in Pine Bluff. The casino is run and owned by the Quapaw Nation. So in some sense, this could be considered, at least symbolically, as a return of the Quapaw Nation to Arkansas. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it.